Roy, you've selected your squad for the game in Sweden next week. Just talk us through a few of your decisions.
Yeah, it's an interesting squad. I think it's a nicely balanced squad. There's some young players, one or two new players to the squad that we'd like to look at. People like Leon Osman, for example, Raheem Sterling, great that Ashley Young, who's been missing for a long while, is back. Jack Wilshere, of course, who's been out an even longer period of time. But luckily, we've still got a good group of senior players in there, and not least of all Stephen Gerrard, of course, who is going to play his 100th game, captaining the team. A fantastic occasion for him, but also a great occasion, I think, for all England fans to see a player leading the team out for his 100th cap, to mark the opening of a new stadium, and what's more, at a stadium, or at a venue at least, where he first captained the team so many years ago.
You mentioned Leon Osman. It's his first call-up for the England senior team. He's a player that's been quite consistent in the Premier League over the years, but has tended to be overlooked by England managers in the past. Is he someone that you've always had your eye on?
I mean, he's a player that I've admired, since coming back to Fulham 5 years ago. He's a player that I think's always done extremely well. Whenever we've played Everton or whenever I've watched Everton, his performances have been, really, really good. But of course, he faces very stiff competition in that part of the field where he plays. But on this occasion, we've got the opportunity, I think, and the space to bring Leon into the team, and it would be great to meet him, to work with him for a couple of days, and to see how he fits in, if you like, with what we're trying to do at international level.
Well, Raheem Sterling's in the squad. He's played for England previously at every level through the youth stages. He was in the squad, two games ago. You have a look at him there. But there's also talk that he's been actively courted by Jamaica to try and play for them. Is that player a part in your decision to select him?
No, he's in the squad on merit. He's in the squad because I think he's done extremely well. He burst onto the scene at the start of this season, has been virtually never present in the Liverpool team, certainly in recent games. In many of the games I've seen, he's played a very, very decisive part. As far as I'm concerned, a player should have the right, I suppose, to choose the national team he wants to play for, but it would seem to me that having played for every level at England so far, it must be Raheem's hope that he's going to represent his country at national team level, and that's really he's on the threshold of doing that at the moment, and he's doing it because he's there on merit. He's one of the better players that we have in England at this moment in time.
You mentioned Carl Jenkinson earlier on as well. There's a possibility that he might be joining up with the squad at a slightly later date than the others.
Well, the reason I didn't include him from the start is because he wants to play for England. He made that clear. We applied for permission to FIFA, as one is allowed to do, immediately after he left us, before we set off for Poland. So that's now some month ago. But we haven't at this moment in time received the clearance from FIFA, although we do believe that they're going to grant that clearance within a day or two. So by next Wednesday he will be cleared to play for England. But I didn't want to put his name down on a squad until such time as I've got the actual FIFA clearance that he's available to play for England in my hand.
So if the clearance comes through for Carl, will you put him in the squad?
Yes, we will. He was with us and did very well to jump into a car and join us when we needed his presence in training just before we left for Poland. And I made it clear to him then that all things considered, if he did want to play for England, I would include him in this squad, and I intend to keep that promise.
And Fraser Forster up at Celtic's in a tremendous patch of form at the moment, none more so than last night's game against Barcelona. So it's another keeper to throw in there with the choice that we've got at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that we've got two very good young goalkeepers, I think, in Fraser and Jack Butland. We still like Jack very much. But of course, Jack is a player I know well. I spent the whole summer with Jack, and then he played in the friendly match afterwards in August. Fraser joined us for the first time for the last matches against San Marino and Poland. So it was a good chance to get Fraser back in again for a few days, have another chance to get to know him a little bit better. But we'll be following both goalkeepers very, very carefully now, between now and the games next year, because we think both Jack Butland and Fraser Forster have exceptional talents and have the ability to one day threaten Joe Hart, whom we hope will keep his place for a time to come.